Goedemiddag, Gebekt Bestek op locatie bij de Fabriek. Het is zaterdagmiddag, een half uur voor de finale van het kunstwerk wat een andere vorm gaat nemen. Het kunstwerk van Aeneas Wilder. And we're going to talk in English from now on.
Yes.
And we're going to talk with Dave from the Fabriek and Aeneas himself. Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Let me ask first to you, Dave. What was the why did you want to have Aeneas here in your
well, we made contact for a long time ago, I think. Some years ago.
Yes.
So, and I saw his work, and I think he's just a very interesting artist. So
yeah.
that's the reason we invited him.
Okay, and because you are a participant in the Designweek, and was there a special connection or
not really,
with
but
that, or
not especially because of the Designweek, but
no.
it fits good in the Designweek. And we have this idea of the Fabriek that we are in between art and design. Wanted to show things. So that's all also the title. The title, you know, is there space between art and design? And so and his work fits good in this issue. So
Because of the material and construction.
yes, because of the material construction and measures.
Like the previous years, you had like Proto 1 and 2. Why did you decide to ask only one artist to make an exhibition and not like the 2 years before? A lot of artists and kind of proto art design thing.
Yeah. Well, it is not really something like a decision in that. It happens to be that Aeneas was in Holland doing the work, and in that time, so we thought now we have to do it.
It was good time. It was just good timing.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because Dutch Design Week was happening, and I was here dismantling something. I wasn't actually creating something. I was dismantling something. So it was a good opportunity to stay on and a little bit longer and do some more work.
So, we can. So you have any connection with design?
Personally, I would say no, because I studied fine art and then I'm exhibiting in galleries and museums as a visual artist, not as a designer. I'm not making products for sale or products for development, you know, this product design type of stuff. But that's my personal view. But of course, there is a large degree of designing necessary in this particular work, with these individual units and the use of very basic geometry and construction techniques that are probably more readily associated with design than with art, visual art. There's an area of visual art that does still exist. It's loosely connected to Russian constructivism and minimalism and things like this, but mostly visual art is moving off in so many different directions, and this structured form of visual art is not so common, perhaps.
And your work is, which you said already, based on geometric forms. And there is no, this particular there is, but there is no how do you say it? Only you build it up piece by piece without any glue or screw or anything like that. What I was wondering when I saw the videos downstairs is that is that all the same size when you shape a form of the wood? Is it special wood?
It's not special wood, no. Well, the installation here is a special wood. It's teak. It's not so easy to come across 4,000 pieces of teak to utilise in an installation. But no, it's the wood itself can be any type of wood, and I have done installations where the lengths, the thicknesses and the heights of the wood are quite different. I've used, just collected all types of wood and made an installation, but I do prefer to have a single unit, so everything's paired down to the absolute minimum. The unit is just, it's one unit, it's a uniform unit. There's no glue, there's no nails. It's very, very simple, and the more reductive you become, strangely enough, the more sort of freedom you have to do many different things. So, for example, with the installation here in the Fabriek, there's approximately 4,000 pieces of wood, and in theory, you could have 4,000 installations. Just different compositions, and that seems it's a kind of paradoxical, because you're limiting yourself so much, and yet from that, there's so many possibilities.
There's still a lot of possibilities.
Yeah.
But why is the round shape? Is it a favorite?
Yeah, I suppose so. I like spheres and round things, but I think everybody has this kind of, we're all programmed to respond to round things. Football. The world is round, and things go round. Time seems to have this sort of.
Is it also
motion.
the most difficult form to shape
in this particular one here on the table? This dome structure is actually the simplest. It's the elementary form that you can make in this stacking system without glue or nails. And once you've done this simple form, then you can, that's a dome shape. Maybe I can do, for example, this circular wall shape, or you can have a shape that's compact at the base and then spreads out, or you can make a square shape. And so I've done quite a lot of these.
Is the wood for the measurement? Is it random, or you have a table, or is it the wood that you found footage? You found.
Maybe important to tell that the wood was a wooden floor. Right?
It was parquet flooring, So it's already of a particular dimension.
So that has this dimension already.
So if that particular parquet flooring was a dimension that I didn't see any possibilities or potential with, or so there's difficulties, then we would have opted for another material. But we were very fortunate to come across this material, and it wasn't perfect. I had to trim and cut to size it to a dimension that was more suitable for what I wanted to do. So but it was pretty much there. Just had to trim, a few centimeters or a few millimeters or so.
And how long did you saw on this?
It was about a week or 7 days. 7 days. But
the thing here
10 hours a
Fabriek.
day for 7 days.
The installation here.
Yeah, because it was a parquet flooring. It was second hand or reused parquet flooring, and it had been renovated or
no, because
for a floor. It was made for a floor, but I didn't want to make a floor. So then I have to trim it again a little bit more.
So it's not, you have your own schedule, your measurement schedule in a way. It's not like found footage.
No.
Found wood in a way.
Well, it is found wood, but and I can just find wood and just use it as it is. But at the same time, I do want to kind of, I do want to control. I want to dictate to the material what it should do, not have the material dictate to me. But there's a bit of both goes on. It just depends. It's different. It's case by case, I suppose.
So that's why you also choose for the round shape here.
Well, the round shape, because the space in De Fabriek is so large, it's very rare for me to get to do a single work in such a large environment, and I wanted to utilise the floor space as much as possible, and so it's like being given you're given a blank canvas, and if your canvas is 2 meters by 1 meter, you'll do something as an artist, thinking, okay, what can I do? But if your canvas is 17 meters by 24 meters, you're not going to do the same type of work that you would do if you were given a 1 meter by 2 meter canvas. So in this case, I wanted to fill the space. And because it's a rectangular space, then you think, well, I don't want to make a rectangular or a square, a cubic-looking structure. I want to use, do a round structure.
Okay.
Ja, ik had net, ik was er even afgelet. No, but what I wanted to ask was because it took 1 week to saw the wood, and then how many time did it cost you to make?
Well, the assembly of the installation. I know exactly how long it took. It took 30 hours.
Okay.
Because you start to time yourself. After about 500 sticks, you know how long it takes to put 100 sticks, and then you can calculate out from that. So it was in terms of standing and placing one piece of wood on top of another, it was just 30 hours of constantly doing that. But of course, that's broken up over a number of days. You do 7 or 8 or 9.
And it collapsed.
That
was
also
mine.
It was a little bit over halfway. But that was a rather amateuristic mistake by myself. I wanted to take the video camera into the structure. The first time I made this, started making this work, it was a very narrow doorway. It was like 60 centimeters, and I'm carrying. I should have just taken the camera off the tripod, collapsed the tripod, been careful, but no, I'll just sneak through, and accidentally hit one of the top sticks, and it was just actually unfortunate, because sometimes if the stick on the top falls, it just falls and lands on the ground, which actually happened half an hour ago. There was an elderly couple accidentally bumped into the structure, I don't know what they were doing, but one stick fell, but nothing happened. But when I was carrying the camera through, one stick fell, it hit another stick, and then there was a chain reaction.
How did you get to the to stack things? Where does it come from?
Well, I suppose it goes back to when I was at art school, and I was quite fortunate. When I was at art school, it was a kind of transition phase. There was no digital cameras. There was no, if you went into the sculpture department, the video department didn't want to know you. If you went into painting department, the sculpture department didn't want the jewellery department, and so on and so forth. So it was very fragmented. But in the sculpture department, we were just left to do whatever we wanted. You know, you were to sink or swim basically. And when I was in art school, I had a lot of ideas, and I didn't have a lot of money. And then you see a skip, a dump, I don't know what you call them in the Netherlands, a skip or a dumpster full of wood, and you think, oh, there's a lot of wood there, maybe I could do something. And actually, the first one wasn't actually that, it was 2 wardrobes. So it was 2 wooden wardrobes, and I just chopped them up and started playing with the material in a very playful and simple way. And then things just snowballed or grew from that. And
ever since?
Well, not ever since. Actually, I stopped doing that type of work and started doing some other things. And then there was a whole series of events. It's a long story, too long for today. But then I went back. I went back to this simple construction method, but using anyway, it kind of developed. I don't know. If you ask an art, how did you do what you do? It's a long story. Whoever you
but
ask.
It started at art school, actually, basically, or something.
Yeah,
the basis.
The basis of that, yeah, and it kind of this type of work allows you to do so many things. It's not just this idea of minimizing everything, and then suddenly it opens up a door that you know.
It stays interesting to yourself.
It stays interesting, and the work, is it an installation, or is it a sculpture, or is it performance, or is it video? You know, there's elements of so many different aspects of visual art in this very simple system. So that as well, I find quite attractive. Yeah. You know, because I can spend a lot of time thinking about how I'm going to make the documentary film about the work, or I can think a lot about what kind of form I want to make, or I can think about the materials I want to use, and so on.
So it's like the optical effect is also a part?
And the well, when I was at art school, I liked, I got interested probably through sort of constructivism and stuff into this optical.
Because the nice thing about this here is about this installation here in the Fabriek is that you walk into the room and you don't know if it's a mirror or
you're kind of puzzled.
It's or it could be a pattern like wallpaper or something like this. It's really, that's an interesting point actually.
Yeah.
But is that by accident?
Yeah. Because it's a secondary. It's a secondary thing. It's like I don't know what the analogy would be here. But it's a secondary consequence of the action of creating the work. It's the same with the sound. You know, you'll hear when we collapse the structure. People say, "Oh, were you thinking about the sound?" And I was thinking about the sound when we got the wood, and it was we saw the wood and it's teak, and of course Dave knows very well the acoustics in the Fabriek, and the teak and the acoustics. Very quickly you understand that there's going to be a lot of sound. But that's a secondary thing. I'm not making the installation for the sound. I'm not making the installation for the optical effect.
No.
But
these are all the things
exists. This is
additional
things. Which some people pick up on more than others.
So that's a secondary thing. For you, the form is the shape is.
Well, the shapes, the shape's important. But for me, the whole thing is important. Everything. You know, not
also the process.
I wouldn't like to say standing over a saw cutting wood for 7 days is an important part of the work, but it is actually an important part of the work, but it's not an important part of the work that I want anybody else to really dwell upon. I don't video myself cutting the wood so I can say to them, look how much wood I cut. But it is an important part, because the wood has to be cut properly, and I want to be in control. I don't want to have a piece of wood that's not cut right, so when I'm building the whole thing collapses. But the whole thing's the whole process is important, and it's a cyclical thing. There's again probably why I like these circles and spheres, because the work isn't finished until 3:45, whatever time it will be when it's collapsed, and even then it's not finished because it's got a couple of days of editing, video, and all sorts of stuff.
But and how does it feel when you build the whole thing up and then you can just kick? against it and the whole thing collapsed. How does that feel for you?
Yeah, that's a good question. I get asked that quite a lot. It doesn't feel like anything. It's
Okay.
very, very odd. Yeah, because other people would think.
Perhaps now it's normal already for you.
Yeah, well, I used to, a couple of times, 10 years ago, I got quite apprehensive. The first time I built a tower and I put a microwave oven on the top of the tower, and I wanted to collapse the tower, and I had these visions of the microwave oven smashing through the wooden floor or bouncing across and breaking a window or all sorts of stuff.
Exploding.
But it didn't. It was very It was an anticlimax. The structure just fell, and the microwave oven just went plonk and landed on the top of the sticks, and that was it.
Nothing.
So then you kind of realise, well, actually, there's no need to be apprehensive or so. So I don't. If I feel anything, I feel a small sense of relief, because I know that it's the end of the project. The project's coming to a close now. I don't have to build it up again. I don't have to cut any more sticks. I don't have to think about where the cameras are going to go and all this sort of stuff.
So what?
There was a visitor, and he said, "I don't come on the opening because I don't want that it's going to be destroyed. So
Yeah.
I want to keep this in mind, the image."
Yeah, and so
That's
some
nice.
people think that it's a really great experience to destroy something. Actually, I have invited other people to destroy structures, and they do enjoy it much more than me probably. And I've asked, I've heard from other people that they don't you know, what are you doing, and they get quite upset. Or the one other person I've heard of has said that they don't want to see this thing destroyed. But that was a Union Jack. I made a Union Jack, and it was a guy from England, and he was really upset.
So what remains is actually a photo and a video.
The photo and the video, and for me, but that again it's important for me, because if I don't make the documentation, then I can only tell people through words.
Yes, of course.
But I'm an artist and I make these things. Oh, great! Can I see something? No, you can't, because I don't have any pictures.
No, but this statue still stands.
No, this one's just been dismantled actually.
Okay.
This particular work was why I was here in the Netherlands in August and September.
And for instance,
I'm going to rebuild this work.
Somewhere
will be
else.
Relocated somewhere else. Yeah.
also in the Netherlands, or?
In the Netherlands, in Etten-Leur.
Okay.
Okay.
But
we know where Etten-Leur is.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, but it has this famous story about this boat from Breda that sailed into Breda with these soldiers under a canvas during the
Okay, and they come from Etten-Leur.
The boat set sail from Etten-Leur during when Spain.
Yeah, we call this a liberation war.
Yeah, well, I've seen the little bridge where they climbed into the boat and set off for but yeah, this work will hopefully be.
How big is this work then? How can we see a person?
It's the diameter. The base diameter is 17 meters, and it was 10 meters high.
There's a little person here, so it's a little bit of a measurement.
There was some. I think there was 1,000 pieces of wood in this particular work, but these units of wood are quite large, 2.5 meters long.
Okay.
They were each piece of wood's about 10 kilos, approximately, because there's quite a variation in the weight.
So it's also heavy work for you then.
This was very physically demanding. Yeah. But there was a team. I had a team of workers working with me, so it wasn't too bad. But still, it's not so easy. You know, it was 10,000 kilos, or 10 tons of wood.
And also the wood, when it collapses here, this wood, can you reuse that for a new installation?
Oh yeah, yeah. Some of the wood will chip at the corners, and you can glue those little corners of wood. If you find a little chip and you find the wood where the chip came off, you can glue it back on, and that means that you have a piece of wood. But because it's parquet flooring, that's, I don't know how old the wood is, but it is a little bit brittle compared to, say, if you worked with fresh pine or some kind of cedar or something that was straight from the lumber yard or the timber yard, whatever you call it. It's not so brittle, easy to break. But certainly I can use this wood again, and I hope to use it several times because it's a great wood and it's
Okay.
not very
And do
often.
you use it here in the Netherlands again?
If I have the opportunity, of course, yeah. If I
Okay.
have the opportunity, I'd be happy because I've done this one structure. I don't necessarily want to do the same structure again, and of course I'm not likely to have the space that I have here
Now,
in the Fabriek.
yeah.
You can't build something that's 10 meters high in a space that's only 7 meters high,
No.
and I can't build something that's 15 meters wide.
No.
Unless there's another space as big as the Fabriek.
Mm.
You know,
Okay.
if it
But it ends after this. It ends here. You're not going to rebuild something else over here.
No, the exhibition finishes tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah. So, well, today is a kind of
Closing,
the
finissage.
the
like that.
closing.
Mm.
But the exhibition is still open tomorrow, so people can see video
The-
documentation of
Yeah.
previous projects and see this
Yeah.
circular
Yes.
trail of sticks.
I want to ask, is the performance element also important for the Fabriek?
Yeah. Yes, I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Yes, the performance element is important for the Fabriek.
Yeah, now it is like he said, it's a process of building up,
Yeah.
and also elements in it, video, documentation, the process of destruction, and is it the performance or is it the sculpture? It was a sculpture, and
Yeah.
now it's maybe a performance.
And it will be a
becomes
sculpture again.
performance.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
and that are very interesting issues for the Fabriek, of course, because we are multimedia space. So we want to combine different disciplines.
Is the organization of the Fabriek go in dialogue with the artist at the moment they're working in this space? Has like Aeneas total freedom, or are you discussing things together?
No, he has total freedom, of
Mhm.
course, because
Yeah.
he makes his work and he has ideas about this. So we have a space, and
Mm-hmm. And
we
you
try-
can
try
use
to
it.
connect people with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
there's somebody for you.
I think we have to
Yeah, we have to finish this.
finish up because I think we're going to watch you
Yeah, well,
kick your work.
probably
within-
we'll keep them waiting for about 10 minutes. It'll be a little bit after 3.
Okay.
I don't
Okay.
want anyone to turn up 5 minutes late.
No,
Yeah,
But
but
of course, I can't wait. We can't wait till 5 o'clock just
No.
in case somebody missed a train or something.
No.
But, yeah, we
Course not.
have a few more minutes.
Okay.
Okay. Now we're looking forward to this part of the performance.
Yeah, it should be good.
I would say this
Quite
destruction,
memorable.
but it's not a destruction. It's
It's not-
You
well,
come into
no.
a new form, a new
It's-
shape.
yeah,
It's
it's not-
completing the work.
Yeah, when people
that
the
good?
people that are upset about this,
Yeah.
the work being destroyed and in inverted commas, it's not a destruction.
No.
It's not.
No,
a
no,
destruction.
but-
It's just it's a cyclical thing. So you're not actually destroying. You're just going back to the beginning.
Yeah.
Mm.
What we started with
Yeah.
Okay.
was a pile of sticks. You know.
Yeah, it's like
And what we're going to-
children's
what we're going to-
play.
What we're going to end up with,
Yeah.
if it is the end, is a pile of sticks. So it will be in a circular,
So we'll make the
randomly scattered, but a circular pattern. But that's
Yeah.
not the end. That's actually that's the start
Of
of
a
the
new
next
project.
project that
Yeah.
you said. Well, you make something else in the Netherlands. Yes, it might not be for 5 years,
No.
but the
Yeah.
point of when will the next structure
But-
be built starts
Here.
at
Starts-
starts at 3:30
yeah.
this afternoon. So it's not a destruction. It's not the end.
No.
For example, the stack do you leave that here in Holland or do you take it with you?
This particular
emotionally attached to it.
Yeah,
That you want to have
well,
it.
I'm going off to Japan next. I don't know if I
So
want
you
to take.
leave
I don't
here
want to
and
take the
then-
wood all the way to Japan and then
No, no,
someday
of
in
course. Yeah.
someday in
But
some-
for
in a-
instance,
you know,
Yeah,
somewhere in
yeah.
Gouda says, "Oh, could you build?
no.
Could you bring this teak here?" And then have to bring it all the way back. No, it's better to leave it here
And then you
And
have
then
a
if-
project for the
yeah.
future.
in the future. Yeah.
So when you have all those stacks around the world,
Mhm.
there are still projects for you waiting then.
Yeah.
Does it feel like that?
Yeah, it does. Sometimes, but I saw an installation that I didn't have the control over the destruction of, which was in San Francisco just last month, and I saw on YouTube somebody put the video and they just handed out my sticks to the audience.
Autograph.
Yeah, well, no, I hadn't signed them, thankfully. But yeah, they just handed out the sticks, and I thought, maybe you should have consulted me about that.
But also interesting.
Yeah, well, I don't mind. You know, it's
No,
not.
it's an interesting concept for the audience.
Yeah, it's good. Why do they want to walk up? You know, they'll have this stick in a cupboard.
Yeah,
somewhere.
but that's the same as a drumstick from a drummer from a band. It throws into the audience.
I've got Cozy Powell's drumstick.
Yeah.
Yes, and this
You
was
can't do anything
something
with it. But
this was from this. You have this visual and touchable memory or something like that.
Yeah. Well, it's nice for them, but yeah, me personally, I'm thinking, what are you doing, walking away with a stick in your back pocket?
you're walking away with my tools.
But they probably think I'm crazy for building the thing in the first place as well. So there we go. There's a mutual understanding there between myself and the audience.
Okay. Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
for
you for this interview.
Yes, thank you very
We're
much.
looking forward.
Yeah, we're looking forward to the make the circle full of Aeneas Wilder installation, the space between art and design. Dankjewel.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Good.
Thank you.
Yes,
Very
good.
nice.
Nice talk.
It's nice.
Yes, yes. It's nice atmosphere, no?
Yes.
You have to say yes now.
I thought this was somebody's design proposal when I saw the caravan
Oh,
last
okay.
Saturday. I didn't, and then I saw people being out. Oh, right, it must be something else then.